Hi folks, this is Matt the Cruz from domainwebstudio.com, and in this presentation I'm going to quickly just show you guys what DWS 2.0 is and what the entire process is, and this screen encapsulates the entire process. Basically, we create our projects, we find out what the conversations are in the market, we do our market research, we create our blueprints, we do our financial checks to make sure that everything is sound and that keywords aren't working out too expensive for us to take on. Then we execute our dynamic syndication blueprint and we get results. That's as simple as it is. It's a 7-step process and it works. Okay, so what I want to quickly do is just show you a few screens so you can get an idea of what it looks like when you actually do a live project. And in this example, we're doing a surfing project and we are looking at a keyword called winter wetsuits. Okay, so when we create a project over here, this is what the screen looks like. Okay, we can have multiple projects, and you can see this one that we're going to be looking at is called surfing fitness and lifestyle. Okay, now when we create a project, the very next thing we want to do is find out what conversations are taking place in the market. So if we type in the term wetsuit, which is a root term, and it's probably got about 20 or 30 million competing pages in the US, then what we're going to find out is when we want to know what the conversations are, we can go to the market discovery tool and look through these multiple tabs and find out what people are talking about within a specific market. Okay, now what the market discovery tool does is it gives us then the next ability to log our keyword research and our ideas associated to the conversation around wetsuits, winter wetsuits, spring wetsuits, summer wetsuits. And when we log our keyword ideas, it gives us a keyword ideas screen which gives us multiple little icons which allow us to do specific tasks and allows us to tie information to keywords that we are interested in. So for example, on Surf Camp, which is part of the whole project I'm working on, you can see we've got 12 synonyms tied to that. Okay, we can see the competing pages, we can see the search volume, we can see roughly what the cost is going to be to be in position number 1 in Google and other search engines for the keyword cams or surfing or surfboard. And we can look at what it's going to cost us in relation to what we expect to make based on our project settings, which we have set up over here. Now, as we find the keywords that we're after, we can then start using Kraken and drill into the keywords, and we can get a good idea of what's happening in the theme and who actually owns the market. So we can see that the main competitor that we're interested in contending with is Wetsuit Warehouse. Okay, they've got about a quarter of the market share. If we look at the next one, we can see that Wetsuit Warehouse, across all the wetsuit types of keywords, they own 2/3 of the market share. Sorry, 1/3 of the market share. Okay, we can see that by the marketing strategy summary that the guys' linking strategies are scattered all over. There's probably only one wetsuit company that's focusing specifically on winter wetsuits. Okay, but we'll cover more of that in DWS training. Now, when we look at wetsuits, you can see over here I've looked at full wetsuits, women's wetsuits, hooded wetsuits, the array of wetsuit type keywords which I've built out in my theme. We can see what's happening with the trends, and you can see that it's up and down, up and down. Okay, so shorty wetsuit is in the yellow, it goes up and it goes down. And what this indicates that this is a seasonal market. Wetsuit market is seasonal. And when we look at winter wetsuits, because we're entering into winter now in the US and the UK, you can see that the winter wetsuits are much more being searched than the rest of the suits at this point in time. Okay, so everything that we do here paints a picture and helps us understand what we're doing and what we're going to be building out. So the next thing we do is we build our blueprint and we prepare to enter into the conversation. So what we do in DWS is once we've got our blueprint from Kraken, we map our silo structure out into DWS and we start assigning details to it. And what it gives us is the domain URL build out, but we can also with these icons drill down into our article categories. And here you can see what wetsuit, shorty wetsuit, wetsuit 3 to wetsuit. We can see the cost, the traffic, how many sales we expect to get per month. And the beauty of this is that this gives you the ability to start projecting and forecasting and looking at where you want to focus your energies at first. Okay, so once we've got that all mapped out, we can then do our financial assumptions, and this is a very important report. And it's based on us saying that if we meet 100% of our conversion rules, we can see what we should earn and what we should be spending to take over that conversation about wetsuit or short-T wetsuit or 3-2 wetsuit. Our whole entire blueprint is mapped out on one screen, and we can look at how many leads we'll get from SEO, how many leads we'll get from PPC, what's the turnover, what's our conversion rates. So you can see we're factoring in at a 0.01 conversion rate. And as you change these dynamic factors over here, so it affects every single other element within your blueprint for your financial assumptions. And if you're happy with the financial assumptions, we can then move on to the next step, which is creating the Dna Braid, where we can bind specific keywords to short-T wetsuit or winter wetsuit, and we can create a unique DNA signature for our keyword. Okay, so after we've done our financial assumptions check, we've built our site, our team has executed everything, the content's written, and it's all ready to go. We then can execute our syndication blueprint, and the syndication blueprint tells us specifically what to do, in what order, week by week for a 90-day period. And we can actually fill in this column here if we print this out and assign costs to each of the tasks and look at what's it going to cost us to own the keyword wetsuit, or what's to own the keyword short-T wetsuit. It also tells us roughly, is this going to be a fight, is it going to be easy, is it going to be difficult. And here you can see we've got moderate to hard, difficult, consider carefully. And when you see those kind of things, you need to look at the page rank, and you've got to need to see how many people are competing with you. And these indicators are here to just warn you to look at things more carefully if you choose to take on these markets. Now, looking at the URL over here, you can see that samsclub.com is an e-commerce store. And because of their page rank, these guys are basically taking over this term, and this is why I say it's difficult, because it knows of the page rank there's a lot of work that needs to be done to get you to be able to compete with it. And DWS takes this information a step further and drops us into the syndication blueprints detail sheet, where we can look at the term wetsuit. We've got all our meta keywords, we've got everything's in place. It tells us how many PageRank 3 keywords we need to bump up our PageRank for this specific page. It gives us what are we competing with, how many deep links. It gives you the whole blueprint of your competitor that you're fighting against, and then also lists the tasks that you need to do on a week-by-week basis and in what order you should execute these tasks. Okay. Further to that, it shows you notes that you've made while you've been doing your research, for example, the white paper information. And over here we can see in position number 1 we've got Wikipedia, but in position number 2 we've got Wetsuit Warehouse. And where we're fighting with these guys is on the keywords within our silo structure. We can see the page ranks of the competitor. We can see how many inbound links they've got. Now let's go into the domain, but when you look at deeper into the domain, they don't have many backlinks pointing back to them. So we can take these guys. And this is what DWS is all about. It's about being smart. It's about planning your line of attack before you actually go out and knowing what the costs associated with the battles are going to be. And just how we build things out and how we execute our tasks. We're doing an orchestrated attack to take over the space. And the end result is we get results. Okay, that's the bottom line. With DWS, we get results in competitive, difficult markets. Here's a bit of proof for you. We did a test while we were testing out the syndication blueprint, and we just went for the term Learn SEO in the UK market. Now, the UK market is a fraction of the size of the US search engines. It's not that there's less people searching, it's just the search engine results for the UK are smaller, and there's less people in the UK than there are in America. So that's a whole different topic. But I just wanted to show you, we did an execution, and within 2 weeks, we landed up in position number 4 for domainwebstudio.com in the UK results for the term Learn SEO, which is fairly a competitive term. So just to end off this presentation, DWS 2.0 works, and it works really, really well. Now with DWS 3.0, we are automating nearly all the work. Okay, so if you get in 2.0, you're going to learn a lot of very, very important information of how to do things, whereas in 3.0 the work's going to get done for you. Okay, and it's going to cut probably 100 hours of your time just alone on each project. So if you know what it's worth to you, if you charge yourself out at $30 an hour and you take 100 hours, that's $3,000 you'll be saving in labor and in research and building your sites. So getting now to DWS 2.0, learn the system so that when 3.0 is released, you are ready to unleash yourself upon your markets. Guys, I look forward to seeing you inside. Sign up soon because the price point is not going to be around for long. This presentation was just to show you what DWS 2.0 is all about, and it all boils down to this: getting results. Okay, that's what we want. We want you to take action, and it starts with getting in now. This is the first point of taking action. The next is to learn the process, execute the stuff, get your sites live, and build your business. That's what DWS 2.0 is. That's what DWS is all about, is getting you to the money faster.